Hey everyone. So today I'm gonna create a video not about some unhelpful thinking styles. Um, Number one is mind reading. So a lot of us always assume that you know what people think without having sufficient evidence of their thoughts. So we should not try to guess what somebody else is thinking without having sufficient evidence, and that's called mind reading. The second one is fortune telling, that I will lose, I won't get it, I will fail. We tend to predict future, and we almost think like a certainty that things will get worse, or there is a danger ahead, or I will get into that chat or convo and I will not be able to do well. So a lot of thinking that something bad might happen is related to fortune telling. We should be aware of this thinking trap as well. Number three, catastrophizing. Pretty related one. It would be terrible if I failed. And this belief that if something bad will happen to us, I won't be able to cope off, I won't be able to stand it. I think this is also a thinking trap, and we should try to stay away from catastrophizing. We believe that what has happened or will happen will be awful, and it will be unbearable. I think all of these things are not very helpful. Discounting positives. A lot of times we also kind of try to downplay the positive accomplishments of us, and we think that they are trivial. I just kind of was lucky, or maybe circumstances were good and things like that. But there are a lot of like positives and mini and major, minor and major accomplishments that we have, and which we don't count them, but I think they're pretty good as well, and we should be always kind of thinking about them as well, and we should not take them for granted. So let's not discount positives. So that's another kind of thinking pattern. And another one is dichotomous thinking. So we always think things and people in terms of black and white, all or nothing. And it was a waste of time. But rather than saying that, there were a few things to kind of gain from that, but not a lot. So we should not communicate in form of dichotomous thinking as well. What if scenarios, and there's kind of a lot of times we find ourselves thinking in what if kind of scenarios, and we try to play out what if something bad happens, what if something happens, and we are never satisfied for answers as well. And we do a what if thing, and then another what if thing, and another what if thing, and things branch out. So I think this is also one of the thinking patterns which is not helpful. We should avoid it. Unfair comparisons. And a lot of times we interpret events using unrealistic standards by focusing on people who do better than us, and then we judge ourselves harshly. I think we should not do that. And we should always be kind of we should try to stay away from comparisons. And the next one is a regret orientation. So always thinking about past. I should have not said that. I should have not done that. I think it's important to analyze it, retrospect it, but it's important to move on after that. And we should not dwell on how we could have done better in the past. And we should focus on what you could do now. But I understand that it is not very simple. I also am a victim of that. So what I try to do is to kind of make notes and just move on. And then the next one is emotional reasoning. So you let your feelings dictate your perception of reality. And I can't emphasize it enough that a lot of times how we are feeling, sadness, happiness, angry, agitation, anxiety, whatever, it's just feeling which passes with time. And a lot of times these feelings don't portray the reality. It doesn't kind of show the exact perception of reality. It doesn't kind of portray what you think is the reality. And inability to disconform. So we tend to reject any evidence that contradicts our negative thoughts as well, because we are in that kind of thinking pattern where we are always thinking negative. Now, for example, I'm unlovable while ignoring all signs that people care about us. And there could be another example like, that's not the real issue, there are deeper problems and things like that. So we tend to ignore the evidence, and we are not able to kind of justify ourselves in our mind about some negative thoughts. And then there is another one, which is judgment focus. So we always tend to judge ourselves, people, events as black and white, good, bad, superior, inferior types. We are always constantly measuring ourselves and others, and we often feel like we fall short. So I think it's another one which is part of our thinking style, where we always keep judging people and events. I think we should stay away from that as well. Yeah, there's kind of another one which is about overgeneralizing. It's a bit of a trap, a mental model, which a lot of people tend to have it, that based on one single incident we think that everything is bad, everything, a lot of things which is wrong. And negative filtering is another one, where our focus almost exclusively on the negatives and we seldom notice positives. So these are like some of the thinking styles that we should stay away from. So I'm gonna go through them quickly, just the name of them, and I find it helpful when I'm going through my visual notes. Mind reading, where we assume what people are thinking without having enough evidence. Fortune telling, predicting future. Catastrophizing, so thinking that negative things will happen and likelihood is very high, which is wrong. Then we discount positives, which is also not right. Dichotomous thinking, thinking in black and white, all or nothing types. What if scenarios, what if happens, what if happens, what if this happened, what if that happened. Personalizing, where we tend to blame ourselves and we tend to attribute a disproportionate amount of blame on negative events and making ourselves at the center of it. So personalizing. Unfair comparisons, regret orientation, so we keep regretting about things that we should have said and we should have done. Emotional reasoning, I would say it's inaccurate emotional reasoning is what is meant here. Then inability to disconfirm in spite of the evidence, and judgment focus on event, people, and things like that. You should be away from this.